Hey guys, I'm Myra with Atomic Baby Cosplay, and today I want to talk about community in cosplay, and more specifically about how I meet people when I'm doing cosplay. So first, what I want to talk about is how awesome the cosplay community is. I have a friend that I've just recently kind of started bringing into the cosplay world, and she has been so happy with her much loved reception, where cosplayers just instantly have accepted her. She's felt very, very happy with how people have treated her and made her feel like she's completely a part of this community and so welcome, so instantaneously. And I think that's something that cosplayers were really good about, is that we really accept and embrace a lot of people very quickly and very easily. Because if you're a crazy person who's going to get dressed up to go to a con, probably you make friends with all the other people who are crazy people and like to get dressed up for cons, right? So I wanted to talk a little bit about how I make friends at cons. So when I started back in 2014 with cosplay, I didn't really have any con friends. I had a couple of friends that I would sometimes drag to cons with me, but I didn't really know anyone at cons. I would just go and I'd be kind of flying solo with the exception of whoever I had brought with me. But now I've found I actually have quite a few friends that are at cons. I see them from con to con, and they're not always the same people, but I recognize people and I know people from previous cons. And that's a really cool feeling, and it's neat to see how that's grown for me over the years. Now I know it can be kind of nerve-wracking to go up and approach strangers and be like, hey, be my friend. So I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about how I've made friends at cons. As someone who struggles with anxiety and depression, it's not always easy. And so these are the ways that I've found have helped me to make as many acquaintances and friends as I have. The first one is panels. So I don't go to a ton of panels, I'm going to be honest. I'm not usually a panel attendee, but I do go to some panels. And when I do, I make it a point that it's a panel I really care about, something I'm very interested in and passionate about. And I will do two things. First, I will talk to the people who are in line near me for the panel, like either in front of me or behind me. Now, I won't go out of my way to be like, hi, let's talk. But I will kind of keep my ears open, and I won't bury myself in my phone, and I'll kind of be aware of my surroundings so that if a conversation happens, it might be something where I could join in or chat. So that's the first thing. Conversations can start over all kinds of little things, like a cosplayer you see walking by, or someone talking about how excited they are about the panel. And you can kind of jump in. Not always, but sometimes you can jump in, and it's a really good way to start to get to know people. And then the second way is by being kind of vocal in panels. I have always been the kid who's like, let me raise my hand and tell you something, because I love being interactive in panels. So I will raise my hand, and usually I'll do that more than once in a panel. And what it does is it helps me to first get to interact and talk with the people who are doing the panel, and also with the people in the audience. I'll have people come up later and talk to me about whatever it is that I talked about in the panel, which is kind of cool. And it's another great way to get to know people and meet people without having to do that one-on-one, face-to-face confrontation. The next way is that I always cosplay. I don't know how to go to a con and not be in cosplay because I love it so much. So I'm always in cosplay, and you can meet so many cool people just by being in cosplay, and when they come up to you to talk to you about your costume, it's usually because that's also their fandom or in some way related to them. It's something that they really love too, and that's a great conversation starter. To be like, hey, we both love this thing, let's talk about the thing, I love the thing. It's a great way to talk to people. And on the note of cosplays, I also meet a lot of people doing cosplay contests. That's part of why I like to compete, is I like to meet other cosplayers who are interested in elevating their craft and really pushing themselves to be the best that they can be. And that's the exact kind of people that you meet when you do cosplay contests. So for me, cosplay contests help me to get to know more people, and more people who are interested not just in fandoms that I like, but specifically in crafting and sewing and things like that, which I adore and am very, very passionate about. So those are kind of the main ways that I meet people. There are lots of other ways to meet people. Like sometimes if you go get food, they don't always have enough tables for everyone to have their own table, so go join someone else's table. That's a great way to casually meet someone without feeling too pushy. And then the last thing I want to touch on is that now that you've met all these amazing, wonderful people, how do you stay in touch with them after con? Well, first, sometimes I just go ahead and add them on Instagram or Facebook as soon as I see them in person. Not always, but sometimes you can volunteer that information and be like, hey, let me follow you. I'd love to follow your Instagram. The other way is I have business cards that look like this. They have a picture of what I really look like on the front, all of my information to get in touch with me, and then my logo on the back. And I give these out like candy at cons. I will hand them out as soon as I start talking with someone, and I'm like, hey, I want to stay in touch with you. Here's my information. And then I wander off. Now, the key point that I would put on this is that my phone number is not anywhere on this business card. It's a little bit different than your regular business card. There's no phone number on here. And there's also no name. My name is not on here, my real name, because I don't feel like I want to let every single human I meet at a con know my real name, because I have a family and I have a daughter and there's some safety there, right? So I don't put my personal information on here. It has my email address and then all of my social media links, but it doesn't have my real name. And my social media links don't take you to my personal Facebook page. They take you to my business Facebook page and my Facebook group. So I don't put my personal information on my cards. But that being said, I do sometimes have a pen with me and I will write my name on there. If it's somebody where I'm like, we could really be friends and I really, really like you, I'll put my actual real name so that they can find me on Facebook. But this is great because then I can give it out to photographers I don't know, literally strangers who I don't know at all. I can give them a card and I don't have to worry about what they would do with that information. And that's all of my thoughts on meeting people, at least for right now. Who knows, I might do another one of these later. And yeah, I'm gonna go now. But it was really great talking to you guys. If this was helpful in any way, give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see videos on sewing and cosplay on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And lastly, I'll put a link in the description bar down below to my sewing and cosplay group over on Facebook. And that's it. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!